So I think it's important that we get to know a little bit about each other and share what we're passionate about in creating our Costa Rica experience, and starting with like what led us to become ketamine assisted therapists. And full disclosure with our audience and the people that come on the retreat with us, that we've also gone through ketamine assisted therapy on our own. So not only are we therapists who provide it, but we've also been clients of the same modality, and that we're speaking from experience when we share how transformational and life-changing this can be. I know for me, like my passion comes from my own personal experiences as well, being introduced to ketamine assisted therapy. And
Absolutely. That was the first question that we wanted to even go over, was what led us both to ketamine assisted therapy. Would you feel comfortable sharing a little bit more about that?
I
About
would
what?
love to. Yeah, I would love to. Love to share some of my story about what led me to become a ketamine assisted therapist. So I am in private practice in Fort Lauderdale working with couples and individuals. And I was seeing over the course of over a decade of working with people that there are some really common cycles and patterns that clients get like stuck into, or movement through is really hard. And I started searching for other modalities to help my clients, to support them in trying to reach the goals that they had set for themselves during therapy. Something bridging the mind, body, and the spirit. And I encountered psychedelic therapy. I knew before offering this for my clients that I would experience it on my own so that I could feel embodied when I showed up with my clients and help guide them through ketamine assisted therapy. And so my interest in it was twofold. It was professional, in order to provide a more healing service to my clients who I felt were stuck in reactionary cycles, and personal, where I had my own things I was going through in my life that I thought could help promote more healing.
Yeah, yeah. So you started with your own personal journey then, like with you yourself as the client.
Yes. And so my first introduction into ketamine assisted therapy was really motivated because I had been diagnosed with breast cancer in 2020.
Mhm.
And going through that experience made me realize more about our nervous system and the biology of beliefs, and the whole idea that our, maybe you're familiar with this too, that our body holds the key. Like our body holds memories, our body holds on to our traumas, and symptoms manifest over time if we're not really dealing with the core root issues of what's we've experienced or what we've gone through, going back to early childhood and all through adulthood. And so I got really curious and motivated to look at, okay, if this was a symptom of something, what is my body trying to talk to me about, and how do I heal this? And so
Mhm.
I encountered ketamine assisted therapy because, and felt drawn to it because of that. I was seeking to look at more of a somatic based therapy that could maybe give me a path through dealing with the trauma of having been diagnosed, and how your relationship with your body changes after that.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. So
And
yeah,
we
I
can go
found,
more into maybe like what your experience was like and things like that, like later on,
yeah.
right? If you'd be open to that. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
I would love to take a pause and also, you know, extend the same question to, or similar question to you, about your interest in psychedelics and what maybe motivated you or caught your attention that you delved into the ketamine assisted therapy world.
Yeah, yeah. So, gosh, I think even looking back at, right, even like my um in my career, right? And like the progression of my career was, I was started out like working with kids and even like infant mental health and like training like with child development and things like that when I first got licensed. And then always finding like you were talking about, just like feeling like stuck, like we would just like plateau, like I could take clients or even whether it was children or adults so far, and then it'd be like, okay, like cognitively there's an understanding of what's happening and why it's happening and things like that, but we're hitting like this plateau. And so then that's when I took the EMDR basic training, and now I got certified in that, and I felt like that was like another way that I could just kind of like, okay, like get through even further, right? Like with like healing and processing and reprocessing and just like how people were progressing in therapy, right? And then I felt like the next step, right, of like in learning about the neuroplasticity of psychedelics, right, was like, wow, like I could use this as like a cleanup. I could use like after EMDR therapy for trauma, I could use this as you know, just like an adjunctive therapy for EMDR. And so just like delving into like a lot of the research that was coming out about it, like what is happening in your brain, what the experiences are like for folks. And then I myself, like you were saying, I was like, I need to try this first, because how am I going to sit there with somebody and, you know, guide someone, or even just, you know, be present, right, if I'm not that familiar, right? And so looking at this through like that, like mental health, like scientific lens, and I want to hold space for, you know, even the indigenous people who have been doing this for, you know, ever, for centuries. And um so that like there's this sacred piece of it too, right, that I find that I think is really, really important. But what I saw like with my own career and then with my clients was that like neuroplastic piece, right? That was like, okay, we can take this opportunity for people to really hold space and gain a different perspective. Um, and so even when I was first trying it out, and even actually my first experience with ketamine was in like a group setting. So kind of, right? There was two people in the room, right? And so um even just like seeing that and feeling held in a way that I had never felt before, or supported, and really just like a journey that I never ever ever would have even imagined, right? Or um even in my own experience of like with doing this work, of finding like, wow, I didn't even realize like that this was something that has been weighing on me, and I had no idea that, you know, this was going on. And I can share more about like the personal journeys later, but that's like really what led me to it, was like hitting those plateaus in therapy, and then like just searching for ways to help people, because I think there's a lot of pain and suffering in this world, and really just seeking that. Yeah.
I love it.